Hello there, I'm Jay, and today I want to thank you all so much for the first 1,000 subscribers. I hit that 1K. Thank you so much. Today I want to talk about something that's not writing. Today I want to talk a bit about myself and who am I? Well, my name's Jay, of course, and before becoming a writer, I was traveling around the world for 4 years. I worked in the movie industry as a grip. So basically a camera engineer. I worked for BBC and ITV for 2 years. And when I was working this job, I was pretty young. I started working there at 18 years old. And I was working with a lot of people that were a lot older than me. So whenever they were talking to me, I could not really have a decent, strong conversation because I just couldn't keep up the conversation because I couldn't relate to them. I hadn't really lived. The only thing I knew was working in the film industry. One day I decided to buy a ticket to Barcelona for €5 and I decided to quit my job, quit my career and just travel around the world. At the time I said to my boss that I was going to travel to every country in the world because it kind of made me sound as if I was doing something epic or maybe I was interesting or something like this. So that was my original intention when I first set off on this trip. I said to everybody, I'm going to do something spectacular. I'm going to travel to every country in the world and I'm going to do it. Well, I got to Barcelona and I ended up staying there for 2 months, not really moving. I was just kind of too happy there. And basically I realised that, okay, well, I'm not going to be travelling to every country in the world. I don't have to, because the only reason I said I was going to do it was to impress people. But now I'm actually enjoying myself and now I'm gaining stories to kind of relate to people. Well, maybe I'll take it slow. So I booked a flight to Portugal, another cheap flight, and a day before my flight, they cancelled on me. And they wouldn't give me my money back, and I tried, and I was tapping my iPad trying to get it to come back. And basically, they just said, well, it's tough luck, you're not getting your money back. So I told them, fuck you, I'm going to walk. And I decided I'm going to walk from Barcelona to Portugal, which is about 1,200 kilometres. I said to the hostel, does anybody want to walk with me to Portugal? And obviously everyone thought I was an idiot. But strangely enough, 2 people actually decided to come with me. And one of them now is my girlfriend, Echo. I walked for about 2-3 months from Barcelona to Portugal. It took me a long time to get there. Well, a lot happened. I'm going to make another video about this walk because it's a pretty big topic. And I wrote a book about it. You can find it in my website below. And after this, I finished the walk and Echo came to see me. And we lived in Berlin together. And I published my first book, Drugs, Gangs, Sex, Slave, Strippers, and a little bit of techno, Love from Jay. That was my first book. And I sold it in techno clubs. I was the underground book dealer. Instead of selling drugs, I was selling books, which was quite funny.
So, I've just been to the printing company and to get my book printed and getting it printed. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
And from there I kind of built a network of underground connections and I became the underground writer in across Berlin, and people would invite me to all sorts of strange places, and I would just follow this curiosity because Hunter S. Thompson kind of inspired me to do gonzo journalism, to immerse yourself in a story, and I was always interested in the dark side of life. And I did this for about 3-4 months, and eventually I ended up in somewhere so dark that I kind of took a break from writing about this dark underworld. I ended up in a torture chamber beneath Islington in London, beneath an old bookshop. It was in this big dungeon, and I got tied up and someone tried to slit my throat and drink my blood. Well, they asked if they could slit my throat and drink my blood, and I didn't like it. And a lot went down. I'll make another video about this too. So I kind of took a break from all this kind of documenting the really underground dark side of stuff. And I never actually published any of that because at the time I didn't really want to make a social media because I kind of thought it's a bit cheesy and, it kind of loses value if I use social media to promote my work. I was naive and young because nowadays as a writer you have to have a social media to get somewhere in your writing career. So from then on I was kind of bobbing about, and eventually I decided to move to China, to Beijing, to be with my girlfriend. And I lived there for about 1.5 years, and I set up a whole a creative community in Beijing, and I threw a warehouse rave. Actually one of the first warehouse raves in about 6 years, capital of China. And I kind of spent 1.5 years just building this warehouse rave and building a creative community around it. And I've always been heavily involved with underground techno, basically underground culture since Berlin. So I spent 1.5 years in Beijing, and then Echo and I decided to travel around the world. And we spent time in the Sahara Desert in Morocco. I was experiencing a pretty crazy voodoo in the Sahara.
What we do is we put water in.
And then we travelled to near Russia, to Georgia, Azerbaijan, Armenia, and we spent a lot of time there. So we kind of like bobbed in about, and then eventually we ended up in Australia. So this is my like condensed version of who I am. I guess I got into writing because I lived first. I kind of only got into writing as I was living pretty fast, because the only way to kind of keep track of all my crazy adventures is to write it down. This is kind of what motivated me to get inspired when I came to Melbourne, because in Melbourne I came here and no one accepted me. In Europe, everybody was so open and warm to me. In China, everybody was so open and warm to me creatively. And when I got to Melbourne, nobody wanted to know me. So I kind of delved into literature, and I delved into the Beat Generation, like Jack Kerouac, who kind of brought back all these memories on the road. William Burroughs inspired me to find my own inspiration on the street, so I didn't have to have any creative artists around me. I could just use myself and kind of talk to people on the street and find stories. So that's a little bit about me. My direction of this channel is to kind of have a fusion of writing and literature, but also I want to have a fusion of the obscurities of life, because I don't want this channel to be another kind of academic channel. I want this channel to be a channel for everyday people like you and me. Maybe I want to kind of inspire people just to give writing a go and just to document your life, and just kind of use this documentation to find inspiration in yourself, to kind of go out into the world and find all these strange obscurities and kind of trying to understand the world better. This is what I want to do with this channel, and I'm going to be leaving Melbourne pretty soon. I'm going to go back to the UK, to Europe, and you're going to see a lot of videos going from to Amsterdam, Berlin, Madrid, and I'm going to try and use this channel to kind of get in connection with other artists and collaborate with them, because I know that if you have a social media and a strong one, people are more accepting to work with you. So basically this channel is my ticket to working with other creatives and to take me seriously. And also I would like you to see the journey too. So I guess this channel is just a big journey of my adventures with creativity, and I want to thank you so much for joining me, and let's have a wild ride together, and maybe when I come to your city, maybe we can hang out. Let's see. Anyways, have a wicked day, and thank you for subscribing. If you think any of your friends will like this, feel free to share it with them, but I just want to say thank you. Cheers. Bye.